Good morning, everyone, and happy Sunday. You're watching Shelley's Millions, where we talk about finance, budget, money, credit card points, all that fun stuff. And I mix in a little bit of covering the movie theater box office grosses for the past weekend because I manage a movie theater as my regular job. So let's look at that really quick. I hope everybody's having a great Sunday and staying out of this heat. I feel like it's been really hot lately here in Los Angeles, like for September. I know it's still summer, but I just normally feel like it's not quite this hot that it should be starting to get into fall. I mean, Starbucks has released their pumpkin spice lattes already. Of course, here on this channel, we're not encouraging you to buy the pumpkin spice lattes. All right, let's see here. What were the number 10 movies this week? Let's see. All right. Make sure I'm sharing my screen. So we have The Conjuring, The Last Rites. Debbie will like that one because it's horror. Then Hamilton. The interesting thing about Hamilton is that even though it's new, I wanna say that came out on Disney Plus either during the pandemic or, like, right after the pandemic, and they filmed the live stage play, and it's been streaming. But there's been a big movement on TikTok with people, like, recreating some of the scenes, women dressing up as men and, like, sneaking out of the window, and a lot of the comments have been like, "Why does everybody just have, like, all this, like, colonial clothing?" So those have been fun to watch. So it's become more it it's just, like, in, mainstream media, and now it's on the big screen. I wonder it should have probably gone straight to the big screen even back then. Hi, little Rambo Rambo, how are you? And good morning, Richard. Good to see you in here. I hope you guys are doing okay. I also I don't have any specific plans for what I wanna talk about today, but I'm going to Ireland October 3rd through the, like, 11th, but really, like, the 3rd and the 11th are gonna be flying days. So the 4th through the 10th, and I need to figure out what I'm going to do there, and I would like to figure out how to do it on a budget, and I was just reading, so we'll probably look at vacation travel on a budget, I guess, and then we'll also look at maybe ways to redeem credit card points for experiences. I'm really trying, and I would love to encourage anybody that's watching the channel, if you have credit cards, they are likely either earning cash back or they're earning points or something. And so you want take after today's live, go through your wallet, look at your credit cards, and then, so I just opened a new one so that I can hit the minimum spend so that then I can redeem that for a free flight. There's a plan when I open a new credit card. It's not that I need more credit, it's that I want that sign up bonus, which people like often abbreviate. But if I hit the credit card and then I think, let's see here, then I go to benefits. Let's make sure I'm not showing anything I'm not supposed to. So it tells you on the credit card points, it tells you how many points you get on each thing. So I get 2x on gas, 2x on restaurants, 2x on American Airlines, and 1x on everything else. Okay, Lil Rambo says, drink some Guinness. We are planning on doing that. What is Rocket Red Countdown Liftoff? I'm going with my friend. It's my friends that I normally travel with, and we are going to go. It's the Guinness storefront. Neither of us like Guinness. Um, and in general, I think drinking is one of the biggest waste of money. It's like it's very expensive, and it's very expensive. So that's the main thing. But I don't really like the taste of Guinness. Everybody says it's different when you're actually in Ireland, so we'll have to check. Okay. Back to the movies. So Hamilton is it's new, but it's been streaming on Disney, and I just think that that's interesting. It probably should have been released into theaters when it was released on streaming, except for maybe that was in the middle of the pandemic, so maybe that's why they didn't do that. I saw Hamilton live, and I saw Hamilton when it released on streaming on Disney Plus, and I actually liked it on Disney Plus better. For me, I always surprise, surprise, I get the cheapest seats, or I'll use something called what is it called? It's like Tix Tonight or something. That might be what it's called in Vegas. Today Tix is the app, and it tells you, like, what's on sale for theater tickets. So I wound up in the nosebleeds when I saw Hamilton, and I couldn't really understand the dialogue. You guys have heard me say I'm not, like, great at history. So I'm ashamed to admit this. I was not afraid. Uh, I was not, like, familiar with the story of Hamilton, so I couldn't really understand all the lyrics when I saw it live. I don't know if it's because I was sitting in the corner and it was bad acoustics or what, but I enjoyed it on Disney Plus because it had all the subtitles. Hi, Cindy from Indiana. Question, just talking to a friend, I wondered how many people and what states go to garage sales. Is it a thing in California? Yes, it is. And, somebody else hang on, let me finish reading these top 10 movies. We'll do it really, really quick. Okay, Weapons, which is supposed to be really good. I still haven't seen it. Freakier Friday, which I did take my mom to see. We loved that. Caught Stealing is number 5. The Roses, which is kind of like a remake on the War of the Roses. The Fantastic Four comes in at number 7. Bad Guys 2, number 8. Light of the World at number 9, and then Superman at number 10, and another re-release, Jaws, at number 11. Okay, so those are the movies this weekend. We did the 11th because I thought Jaws was fun. All right. Okay. Garage sales in California. Yes, people absolutely do that. And honestly, I need to have one. So all this that's up on this counter or the shelf, which is above my bed, like, you see Beanie Babies, and this is a Vampirella, this is an Austin Powers doll, I got a Nightmare Before Christmas doll. I just have, like, a lot of stuff, and honestly, these Game of Thrones books, um, I haven't read them, there's too many names, that's a hard book for me to read. I liked the TV show, but the books for me are hard to read. So all of that stuff is, and I have plenty more of it, would be good to get rid of at a garage sale on my front yard. But yes, people do it. Around the corner from me, someone sets up almost every weekend and does a garage sale. I think also here in Los Angeles, estate sales are pretty common. I don't go to them, and the reason why, I think I've shared this before. So, on Fridays and Saturdays, when and most people are doing their garage sale on Saturday and Sunday, I had my alarm set for 10:30 AM this morning, right? And since my hair is a little bit of a mess this morning, uh, and that's so that I can wake up to do this live. I work nights, it is really hard to get up in the morning, and people do go to the garage sales to find good deals. We're gonna talk about one other good deal thing, that I'm gonna be using for my vacation in just a second. But the good stuff they say is gone early, right? So either you have to go really, really early, or you have to go around, like, between 3 and 5 when the people are ready, especially on a Sunday. If people are moving, they don't wanna pack the stuff back up, right? My mom used to sell at swap meets, and it would be stuff that, like, you could sell at a garage sale, but I grew up in a trailer, we didn't have our own yard, they wouldn't let you do a garage sale there, I don't know why. I honestly think the trailer park would have done really well to have, like, a monthly garage sale. I think most communities, like, if you get together with your neighbor and then people know that, okay, every first Saturday of the month, you're gonna have a neighborhood garage sale, then people start to know and they start to go. Anyway, she wasn't allowed to have garage sales at the trailer park, so she went to the swap meet, and she would pack up, and sometimes it would be, like, heavy things, and it started to be, like, all her senior friends would give her their items that they didn't want, or somebody passed away. They would say, "Hey, Jenny, come get" so and so's stuff, and she would go and she would pick it up and she would sell it at the swap meet. But sometimes if it was something heavy, like books, I think she was asking like a quarter a piece for them, but she didn't want to pack it up and like lift it back on the truck. She did that until she was pretty old, and she just didn't want to lift it and pack it all. So sometimes she would just pack a box full of stuff and say a whole box for $1. So you can get really good deals at the end of people's garage sales if they don't just want to pack it up, and then also at the beginning of the day. I don't get up early enough to do the beginning of the day. And then right now, I don't need anything else. I'm watching a lot of YouTubers do like restoration on furniture. This is from Ashley. Like, even if that's by the time it's done, I just bought it when my mom moved in, but by the time it's done, it's not like nice, strong, heavy wood. It's kind of like that cheap. It looks like wood, but it's really just particle board. Um, but people have been like flipping furniture that they find on the sidewalks that's a good side hustle. I don't feel like I'm good. Like, I can't sand in the little spaces. This is pretty, like, this has a little ledge right there. And then there's this part right there. Like, I'm not good at like getting in with a sander and doing that part. But if you're handy or crafty, you can make some decent money flipping things on Facebook Marketplace. I watched some lady the other day. She was driving through the rich neighborhoods, and I've also heard this, go through their garbage. So, I would be too paranoid about, like, bed bugs and things like that, but maybe in the wood furniture, it's not a thing. But she found a desk. All she had to do was, like, clean it off, and it was, like, a $300 desk that someone had just left at the curb. Because if people are moving, maybe they list it for a day or 2. Some people also don't wanna deal with, like, Facebook Marketplace, because I think you list the things and then you get an offer, and then the people don't show up. But I've also been watching a series where people will put, like, I don't know, this is a very old sunscreen. Very old sunscreen. I'll leave it on the porch, you leave me $1. I don't think really for the very old sunscreen, but, like, you get the idea, right? She just leaves things on her porch and the people leave the money under the mat. So that's kind of an interesting concept. What I'm going to personally be doing as I get ready for my trip to Ireland, I keep reading that you need actual rain proof, not water resistant, waterproof clothes. And that's going to be kind of expensive brands like Columbia, Patagonia. I don't think I can just go, if the choice is to go with what you have or not go with what you have. But my plan, right? Because it's going to be October in Ireland, and apparently it can rain there at any time, but it's definitely going to rain in Ireland in October. Let's look at the weather real quick for Ireland. I've got it up already. Okay, now it says possible light rain in the next hour. The temperature is 61, which is cold for a California girl. But look at all that rain, 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 rain. Because apparently it just rains every day, but like maybe not all the time. And then it says Dublin feels like 55. I wonder too, because we're going to go to the Cliffs of Moher, and I wonder if it's going to be even colder because it says feels like 55. So is that the wind? And then it just says light rain. What is happening? There's a wind. I hit the wind map apparently. Um, so I need some sort of waterproof jacket. And Columbia and Patagonia, they are expensive brands. I don't want to go to through a thrift store. I have trouble because I'm plus size. So I'm a 3X, 2X, 3X right now. I don't know. I'm a big girl. So I think it's the bigger you are, I think the harder it is to find stuff at thrift stores. And it's going to be harder to find those specific brands. But eBay is a great resource for things like that. And Probably because I'm not gonna need, like, water it said you should need, like, waterproof pants. Um, I don't know quite what our trip's gonna look like yet. I'm kind of in charge of planning it. Also, tell me if this is crazy, you guys. So, we're gonna fly in we fly out on Friday, but we don't fly in till Saturday. Is it crazy on Sunday? So, we're not gonna be adjusted to the time yet. And I actually that's why I picked this, but I'm also like, "Oh, maybe this isn't a good idea." On Sunday, we're gonna get on one of those tour buses that goes from Dublin to the Cliffs of Moher, which is on the other side of Ireland. Um, but is that crazy to have just done the long plane ride and then, like, not even be used to the time zone because you have to get up really early and then sit on a tour bus all day? Is that a bad idea? The logic when I did that, and I can still cancel and change it, but the logic was I'm not an early morning person. I won't be used to the time zone yet. So if I have to be up, dressed, ready, and on the bus by 6:55 a.m., which is what I need to do, that like I'll still be suffering because I won't be used to the time zone yet anyway. My mom is not going to Ireland with me. So that's an interesting question. Okay, so my mom is 78. She's having trouble walking, like, long distances, even and this would be good if my brother and my sister were watching. So I have a half brother and half sister who live in Georgia. Oh, I need coffee because my throat got dry, so that means like the video. And they very much wanna see her, and she enjoys being there. And the last time we were there, she's like, "I'm gonna put away a savings fund so that I can come back more often." And I get 2 weeks of vacation a year. I would be happy to go with her, like, one week going to Georgia and 1 week going, like, somewhere like Ireland or Scotland or wherever's next. And the last time we went, though, we had to change planes, so it wasn't like a direct flight to I think we flew into Atlanta and then we drove to Savannah. And it wasn't like a direct flight. The airports are really big, and so my mom can't do the walking in the airport. So we got a wheelchair, that was no big deal, and I was pushing her through the airport. We were trying to figure out how to, like, kind of, like, attach all of the suitcases which had wheels. Well, I think only one of them had wheels. My mom had a duffel bag that she had to, like, hold on her lap, and I had a suitcase. Did we get her a rolling suitcase too? I don't remember. Um, but, like, I'm trying to manage the suitcase, the duffel bag, my mom's stuff. Okay, Cindy, so the very next day, because Saturday, we're gonna yeah, I think we get in kind of late, so we might do a dinner. I don't think I wanna go to it's like a rowdy pub town or pub area called Temple Bar in Ireland. I don't think we wanna do that the first night just because me and my I don't wanna be hungover, I don't wanna drink too much, I don't wanna be in the area I don't wanna be jet lagged where I'm in the touristy part of the most touristy part of Dublin because, like, I just wanna get, like, a bearing on my surroundings. Me and the friend I've traveled on, we've definitely had our wallets stolen. I had my wallet and my cell phone, I think, get stolen. When I visited him in Mexico City, we're just like a hot mess. So we can't go to Temple Bar as the area on night 1. So I think we're gonna, like, get settled in our hotel, have, like, a nice dinner, but, like, not in the super touristy area, and then the very next morning, wake up and get on that tour bus. I'm just like, it's an 11-hour flight followed by, like, a really long bus ride, and I'm just like, "Ugh, is this gonna be too much sitting?" Anyway, back to my mom. It wasn't a direct flight. The airport's really big, especially that Atlanta airport is just huge, right? And I don't mind managing all the bags and my mom in the wheelchair or anything like that. Especially because, like, I don't know how much more she's gonna wanna travel. And the answer is she might not wanna travel anymore at all because I've kind of asked her, and I do think she wants to go. Also, I had completely forgotten about this, but when you fly back into LAX, so I don't have like a big friend pool, right? I don't have like a lot of friends that I can call that'll pick me up from the airport or pick me and my mom up from the airport. As a matter of fact, I don't really have any friends, but I was like, whatever, there's Uber. But I forgot that the more affordable Ubers, like the basic Uber, does not pick you up curbside anymore. So my mom got really, we landed. I think we were able to take the wheelchairs over to like, no, I think we had to walk. And it wasn't a long walk, but you have to get up on the shuttle, and that was a little bit tricky for my mom. Then it drops you off, but you still have to, like, cross the street, and there's kind of a long walk to, like, where the Uber pickup zone is. So I would do a couple of things different, and, our long flight from Atlanta to wherever we flew from, now I'm big, my mom's not super petite, um, but there was a big man next, like, that got right in the seat next to us. So I was by the window. My mom was in the middle seat because she was the littlest, and then there was a big man. I was super squished. She was super squished. You know, she's at an age where, like, sitting too long bothers her, standing too long bothers her. I think travel in general just kind of stresses her out. She didn't do a lot of travel when she was younger. As a matter of fact, um, I think that the only travel I did, bring back a souvenir for your mom. Absolutely, absolutely. I will absolutely do that. But yeah, I think she doesn't wanna travel. So she got really cold on the way back waiting for the Uber, and she was like, "That was hard on me." So, mom, if you're watching this, and she's just over in the next room, so she may or may not be, but I would do it different. I would go ahead and I would get us probably, business class seats, even though it's just domestic travel. They don't necessarily need to be lie flat seats, and I would use my credit card points to do that, guys. I'm not gonna pay full price. I am not gonna do that, but if my mom decided that she wanted to go back to Georgia, I think it's worth the money to make her comfortable, right? Like, that's what I'm working, that is literally what I'm working so hard for. I wanna be really smart with my money and make conscious choices about how to spend it, but I do want to have some comforts. Yeah, Richard, I will definitely bring her, back, a nice souvenir. But yeah, I think I would pay with credit card points to get business class, or at least, they always talk about leg room in the, what is it called? Premium economy. My mom and I are not tall, so neither one of us need, extra leg room, but where I could really use is more width, and that's certainly what happened with that gentleman that got on the plane next to us, is we were squished left and right. We weren't squished with the row in front of us. Because I'm 5'5", but probably more like 5'4", and my mom's like 5'1", 5'2". Like, she's shrinking as she gets older. So my mom's a little shorty. I'm short. We don't need the leg room, but we both are a little bit wide. So I would pay for a better seat for her. We'll either go, premium economy, business class, maybe a nicer airline. I could, like, you can check out online, like, how wide the seats are. So that's one thing we would do. And then the other thing that I would do is I would, again, make a choice to spend more. They have, I think it's Uber Black will pick you up curbside. So, and they still have those car services where it will, like, hold up your name, and those guys, I think, go right into the airport. So, I would pay to get picked up since I don't have the friends to pick me up from the airport. I would just pay Uber Black or whatever it is, one of those car services, to pick us up direct from the curb. Now, I would not recommend anybody budgeting trying to do that. And as somebody who likes to budget, I don't love that either. And Richard's saying to save money, pack light. Absolutely. Absolutely. However, right? So this is my half brother and my half sister and their spouses and like my mom's grandkids and great grandkids. So we packed light and then they gave us a lot of gifts to take back. And I'm very grateful for those, but I had not planned on that. And that did make like it, I think it made like a whole extra suitcase. Again, very, very grateful for that. But we had to like buy a bag to bring back. Um, so yeah, anyway, travel's getting harder on my mom. She also doesn't have like a passport or anything like that. So she's not into the travel. I think she'll miss me when I'm gone, but honestly, she might be happy to have the house to herself. Okay, Joel says, "How am I? You decided to help your neighbor fix his beautiful sports car. It's a Lexus ISF V8, and it was hard work, but I'm very proud when you can help out a neighbor." Yes. Oh, okay. Let's switch gears. I wanted to talk about my trip. Um, and guys, I might let AI plan my trip. But anyway, what I am gonna do, okay, so not we're not talking about a hypothetical trip with my mom anymore, but my actual trip. When I'm there, I'm gonna one, stick to a budget. And I think I think for the two of us, for my friend and myself, I think the budget's gonna be $100 each per day. I think breakfast is included with our hotel. So I don't think that I need to pay for breakfast or coffee or pastries or anything like that. I'm hoping not. So that leaves lunch, dinner, and entertainment. Like admission to attractions. I guess that also includes like Ubers and Lyfts. When we're actually in Dublin, we should be able to pretty much walk everywhere. Well, I'm just curious what it would say. Do I have it in here? No, I don't. I did one of my favorite. So one, I need some waterproof stuff. I'm gonna get it off eBay. Two, I did one of my favorite travel hacks and just like a life hack in general is the library. I went to the downtown library. I have 3 Ireland travel books because really I'm gonna just use those once. So guys, don't buy. And I guess like everything's online, but you know what? So like you hear about the top attractions. You can look at TripAdvisor online and get like your top recommendations for what people do when they're in Ireland or whatever. But it doesn't show you like the proximity. So when I'm actually like planning the trip, hold on, like, and I can get the weather on my phone and all that. So my itinerary says, um, it says the Guinness factory and either the church or the castle. And the reason why it says either the church or the castle is I didn't know like um I don't know where they're located, right? But the tour books like have like a map where you can really clearly see like okay, if I go to the Guinness storefront here, that's closer to the cathedral. So it's just gonna help me plan out my trip better. So like, maybe that makes me really old school that I still like an actual physical book, which, by the way, they will auto-renew for you. They'll check it out for 3 weeks free, and then they'll auto-renew it for 3 more weeks. You don't even have to call anymore. Flying stresses me out. Um, Richard says that flying stresses my mom out too. And then the big cheese, good to see you in here. I So my this is one of my life regrets. Guys, do 2 things when we get off this live. Number 1, optimize your credit cards for your cash back. So if you're getting 2% back on one card for gas, use that card for gas. If you're getting 3% back on dining, and go to that page that I pulled up earlier, so you check your Citi card or whatever it is, and you tap. So I have 2 different Citi cards, so I'm tapping one. At the very bottom, it says benefits. You scroll down to the little bottom, and it tells you your bonus categories. So basically, 2% is the most, times points. That's the most I'm getting back anywhere for gas stations. So this is a good card for me to use for gas stations. But I have a card where I'm getting 3% back for restaurants. So this is not a good card for that. And really, this isn't a great card with multipliers, but the sign up bonus was really good. And I'm trying to get a free flight. So that's what I'm doing there. Anyway, my aunt. So number one, when you're done watching this live, go through your credit cards, see which ones give you the most points back, and start optimizing for that. Have a separate card if you're good with credit cards, and if you're not in debt. So if you can responsibly manage them, go and optimize your spending. So put the 2x gas card and use that for gas. I actually don't like using credit cards for gas at all because the gas station that I go to charges you 10 cents more a gallon for gas. So I just pay gas cash. But go through your cards for your individual situation and optimize. Like maybe even use like a little label maker or a little sticker or something to remind yourself like which card is best for what category so that you're maximizing those points so that you can redeem them for something cool. After that, talk to your loved ones and ask them their history. Ask them where they're from. Ask them where their grandparents were from. Ask them where their grandparents were from. And the reason why I'm saying that is when I was little, I didn't really care, right, where we were from. And my mom even just said this. My mom said, "Oh, we're mostly German." But I remember my grandma saying that we were Scots Irish, and my grandma had bright red hair. They called her Rusty. People call me Rusty. Her name was Betty Jean. Betty Jean had red hair, and she said, "We have Scots Irish." Yes, you could also do the 23andMe to find out your complete heritage. I am nervous to do that. I am worried that like some serial killer is going to like crop up in my family history and I'm going to find out things that I wish I did not know. Also, like, I don't know if I want whoever is collecting that data to have all that data on me. But anyway, my grandma used to say, we're Scots Irish, which, so I'm learning a little bit already about Irish history. And there's Ireland, which is all of it. But then there's like is it Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland? Northern Ireland is different than the rest of Ireland. And that's where the Scots Irish were. So there was somewhat recently some like conflict between the 2 parts of Ireland. And I guess there's a show called Derry Girls, but there's an area of London called Derry, Derry. But I guess to be respectful, you're supposed to still call it Londonderry. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm interested to learn a little bit about that. But the way my grandma said that we were Scots Irish, that could mean Northern Ireland. And then my great grandmother's last name. So, um, my great grandma, yeah, my great grandma's last name was Zion, Zion, and I'm not sure where that name is. I'm also not sure if that was her maiden name or her. No, that must have been her maiden name before she was married to my grandpa Bear, Bair. Anyway, I don't really know where I'm from. So my mom was saying we're mostly German. My grandma was like, we're Scots Irish that I remember. But I always remember both of them being like, we're Heinz 57. We're a little bit of everything. I wish when I was younger that I would have really asked them more seriously, like, no, where was grandma's grandma from? Or where was my great grandma from? Like where I don't know anything about my dad. Nothing. Um, isn't Ireland part of the United Kingdom? Northern Ireland. Oh, don't get this wrong, Shelley. Don't embarrass yourself. is Northern. I think Northern Ireland is part of the UK, and the Republic of Ireland is part of the EU. What does that stand for? Is Northern Ireland part of the UK? Yes. Northern Ireland is part of the United Kingdom, which is a political union of four constituent countries: England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. The full name of the UK is the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Why did Ireland? Oof, oh no, I don't want to look at that. Ooh, look at how beautiful that is. Part of me would also like to go to Scotland when we're there. They have these. Ooh, God, that's beautiful. Look at this. It's like rotating. Northern Ireland. I mean, that's just beautiful. Get there. 13 hours and 20 minutes to Belfast. Oh, it's beautiful, beautiful. Let's look at I should pull it up back there. This is the problem, is that I want to see like everything. Because look at how beautiful that is. And we're not able to see everything. But we might try and go. Why is Ireland two countries? Yes, Southern Ireland is part of the EU. What does that stand for? No, the Republic. Okay, so I had it right. There's Northern Ireland, and then the rest of it's the Republic of Ireland, and then the whole thing is just Ireland. The island of Ireland is politically divided into the independent Republic of Ireland, which covers most of the island, and Northern Ireland, which is a constituent country of the UK. Well, what does the EU stand for, you guys? I'm sorry. I should know that, but I don't. And you know what? Sometimes it's okay to admit that you don't know things as long as you're willing to learn. Is that the European Union? What does EU stand for? European Union is an economic and political union of 27 countries. It operates an internal or single market, which allows free movement of goods, capital, services, and people between member states. I wonder too, like, I would love to get as many stamps as possible in my passport, and I don't travel a lot. I haven't gone anywhere since 2023, when I also traveled with this same friend. And back then we went to Portugal. It's Portugal and Spain. Portugal, Madrid, and Egypt. Don't ask. And we weren't in Egypt for very long. Yeah, the European Union. Okay. Joel says, I believe Northern Ireland is Protestant and part of the UK, while the remaining part of the Ireland is Catholic and its own independent country. Yes. But I think that if you travel, I don't know if you get like a separate stamp in your passport. I'm not even sure if you need a passport to. I guess maybe we should start Googling things about my trip. Also, Joel, while you're in here, I have car questions. And I want to talk about cars for a little bit because the channel's money and not travel to Ireland with Shelly. But I'm glad that you guys seem excited for my trip too. But okay, number one, I got my car fixed. And please don't kill me. I got it fixed at the dealership. I finally fixed the stupid oil pan. I thought that when you fixed the oil pan, that would mean replacing the oil pan. Let me tell you what they charged me $799 for when I got the actual paperwork back. Don't fix your car at the dealership. I have a hybrid. Hybrids have been out forever. I'm still a little nervous to take them to a regular mechanic just because they haven't been around as long as other cars, but I'm officially over that, especially after this story. All they did was seal it, and I still don't even really think that there was a leak, but whatever. Then they said that I needed to service the hybrid fan, which I did that because I guess there's like a different hybrid battery and like I want to keep that cool or whatever, so I serviced the hybrid fan. Then I did like a transmission service. Then, oh, Debbie, you missed it. You're gonna have to rewind. So, what was the number one movie? Now I'm already forgetting. What was it? I remember the number 2 movie was Hamilton. Oh, The Conjuring. Are you gonna see The Conjuring, Debbie? Because it's horror. So the new Conjuring came out was number 1, and then number 2 was Hamilton, which I kinda wanna see on the big screen. Okay. Yeah, I don't wanna go to I'm not going to the dealership anymore because they will always try and find more problems to fix, and they'll overcharge you for it. I definitely got overcharged, but I thought they were gonna totally give me a brand new oil pan, and all they did was seal it for $7.99, which is so, so crazy to me. And then they gave it back, and my emergency brake like, okay, I don't know how to do this. I'm just gonna do the arm movement. It's gonna look weird. Um, it would normally go like, right? A good arm movement, like that's a significant like a good little pull, like a right. When I got it back, it went up like a quarter of an inch and it like won't pull up. And it's like, I don't know, but it is making me crazy. It doesn't pull up as much. And they were saying something like, oh yeah, it should go up at least 1 click. There were no clicks. It would like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. It's triggering me somehow because I've had my car for 13 years and all of a sudden the emergency brake is not pulling up as high as it used to. And I already took it back and I guess now it's doing 1 click, but it doesn't feel how it's felt for the last 13 years. And it is bugging the crap out of me in case you can't tell. Um, and I'm just going to also rant for a little bit. This week is the first week I've had 2 days off in probably like a month. So, uh, I've been only having 1 day off a week, and of the 6 days that I've worked, one of the 6 days has been a double. And so for 2 weeks in a row, the first week when I fixed it, and the second week when I went back because, like, the emergency brake was only lifting up, like, that much, I spent my 1 day off at the car dealership getting repairs. You guys don't normally see me, like, angry and frustrated, but, like, I think you can see in my face, like, how frustrating that was. And I don't even wanna say the total number that I spent to get the car repaired. So to get it back and then have like, is that normal? Is it okay that the emergency brake only lifts up that much and doesn't click? Like, they did fix it and it has 1 click, but it must have used to have 2 clicks. Anyway, I don't like it anymore, and it, like, doesn't feel right, and it is bothering me. Wait, what? Okay. Debbie's not happy about her dealership either. Cost $220 for an oil change and a new air and cabin filter. It took all day. Okay, I'm gonna say a couple things after I just admitted that I took my car to the dealership. Okay. Number 1, I get the 3 oil change package, which has always made me feel a little bit better about it. I feel like that's competitive. I wanna say, um, I think it used to be 119 for 3 oil changes, which I don't feel like is that bad, and I feel like it might be up to, like, 129 or 139, but it's under $50 per oil change. So and I thought it used to only last 18 months, but now they say it lasts a full 2 years because 'cause I'm not driving my car as much. I live pretty close to work. I'm not commuting to see my mom anymore since she lives with me. Um, so I don't feel like maybe they offer the oil changes cheap so that they can get you in and you can do those repairs while you're there. Because that's part of why I did it too, is it was convenient. And you guys, if you've been watching the channel, you know that I was putting off that oil pan for a really long time. So I was there on my 1 day off that week. I didn't wanna go somewhere else. Also, you guys have heard me mention that there's a place called Jesus's Auto Body, even though it says Auto Body, they work on the inside of cars. They moved and, like, it's only 6 miles away, but somehow it took an hour to get to get there because my roommate's car or my best friend's car that, like, rents the garage, like, I just call them my roommate because it's easier. Um their car went out and they took it to the new Jesus's and it somehow took an hour to get there. Um, anyway, so I just feel ripped off by the dealer. And I spent 2 days off and the the emergency brake does not feel right. It just like and then the mechanic tried to be like, "Well, maybe you don't know how your emergency brake works." It's not like I got the car yesterday. It's not like I bought this car used from someone else and I've had it for a month. I've been driving this car for 13 years. I pull like I was telling my best friend, I was like, "Not everybody pulls their emergency brake every time." And they were like, "Yes, they do." I heard that you're only actually supposed to pull the emergency brake if you're, like, parked on a hill. Well, I'm not a I only pull it when I'm parked on a hill kind of person. I don't know why I have to pull it, like, every time I park. It's like a compulsory I don't know, it's like an OCD thing. I'm not OCD, but maybe I am about my emergency brake. So, I pull it every time. So, for 13 years, and I've had a job for those 13 years, like, for 13, I'm gonna say I pull that parking brake at least 4 times a day for 13 years, and this man's gonna tell me that that maybe I don't know what my emergency brake is supposed to feel like? I wanted to p I literally I'm also not a violent person, but, like, I felt like punching him in his face. Obviously, I didn't, because also I can't fight. But don't mansplain my own parking brake to me. I was so mad, you guys. Okay, end of that car rant, and let's go into a different car rant. One of my very best friends, not the one that rents my garage for me. So I care a lot about finances, obviously. I talk about them every Sunday. I want everybody that I'm in contact with to be in the best financial situation possible, but maybe you guys can give me some advice. This is the friend that I've mentioned recently had to take an $8 an hour pay cut because she also used to work in movie theaters and her movie theater closed. And we've been friends for a really long time. Um, she was struggling to make ends meet, and especially taking a lower paying job. And I mentioned that her partner luckily is helping her. So when I recently caught up with her, oh, she's gonna hear this and she's gonna be mad. Whatever. It's okay. It's okay. We're good friends. We'll get over it. But she'll be mad I'm telling the internet instead of just saying it to her face. But like maybe she probably won't hear this because it's toward the end, so she probably won't listen to the end of it. She bought a new car. Nothing. I was like, "Oh, was something wrong with your old car?" And she was like, "No." She was like, "I just never really liked that car. It never really felt like mine. My brother helped me buy it, but it wasn't what I wanted." And she bought a new car and her car payment has now gone up. I said, "Oh, like, did you, did you get a good amount for your trade-in?" All this. Her car payment is now $200 more a month. So it went from like a $400 car payment, which to me is still a lot, and now it's up to $600 a month. And she just recently took that pay cut. But she's so happy. She sent me pictures of the car, and I'm happy for my friend that she has something that she wants and that she's excited and that she loves, right? So there's that part of me. And I am happy for her, right? If something makes her happy, then I'm happy. But I also get, like, nervous and frustrated, and I wanna say, "What are you doing? Like, you just had a pay cut, and now you've upped your expenses by $200." If I were in her situation, right, which I'm not, we're all different, that's what makes the world go round and unique, right? But I wanna tell her, "No, you should take that thing back." It's too late, though, she's already got it, right? So maybe she did not call and ask my advice or what I thought about it beforehand, and it's already done, and she should just be happy. But you know what? Like, if you go on a financial advice show, they tell you to, like, sell the car and, like, downsize and get something that you can pay for in cash. Okay, let's do the math on how much less she's making a month. Okay, $8 times 40 hours a week times 52 weeks a year divided by 12 months. Wait, that doesn't sound right. Okay, let's do that again. That could be right. Okay, $8 times 40 hours a week. That's $320 a week less. Times there's 52 weeks a year. So that's $16,640 less a year she's making divided by 12. So that'll give me my monthly. So she's making $1,387 less a month, and she just upped her car payment by $200 a month. And for me, like, I just it's the way I am, I can't help it. I start doing the math on, like, car insurance is probably more on a newer car, on a more expensive car. So she's got the gap insurance on it. 26 paychecks a year. Yeah, that's true, but I was just curious about the monthly. So we could go ahead and divide that by 2. Some people don't either. Some people actually so that would be $693 less per check. Some people, um, still get paid on the 1st and the 15th, so they do only get the 24, paychecks a year. So, guys, I don't say anything to my friend, right? She didn't ask my opinion. She's already made the decision. But it's hard because some of these books, like there's a Tony Robbins book back there. I'm always trying to better myself. And they say that like it, I really like my friend. I enjoy hanging out with her, but there's part of me, don't say this out loud on the internet. No, it's okay. There's part of me and I don't know, I don't think this is a good part. There's part of me that's like, maybe I should spend less time with her because she's not making good financial decisions. And that is something that I value a lot is that my friend circle be people that make good financial decisions. But you know what? It's okay to have one friend who doesn't fit that mold. Um, I'll hope that I'll just continue to exhibit the good habits around her and that they'll rub off on her one day. I'm not trying to change my friend. Not gonna ditch my friend, but there is part of me that's like, what did she do? And do I need to spend less time with her? Is that okay? Let's see. This is okay, Cindy. This is exactly what I need to hear. I know people like that, and you can't tell them anything about buying stuff they can't afford. They usually end up bankrupt or never really having anything of lasting value. Yeah, and it's just like she's my friend, right? So it comes I have read that. I have read that. Now, isn't that the one though where they talk about the guy and he comes up with a way to like automatically like take the shells off crabs or something? It's about people who have like isn't it about it's not that's not the one about I've read so many books on money and everything at this point that I think I'm starting to get them confused. Is that the one where they have, like, really simple ideas and they see the need for something? Or is that one the one where it's kind of like people like me and they live frugally their whole lives and then that's how they gain wealth? Um, I don't want my friend to struggle, right? Like, if she had a little bit of room in her budget, it wouldn't have been so stressful for her to have to take a pay cut, right? Um, and she they normally do buy the newest iPhones. And they don't have kids, but they have 2 dogs, and, I wouldn't want I know that they don't have it if one of the dogs gets sick. I better stop talking. She's gonna get so mad at me. But I mean, this is the reality for a lot of people, right? Um, so it's not just her, and that's exactly the kind of person I wanna help. My other friend, this is my best friend, said this is kind of funny. They said, "Thank God you have YouTube because I don't wanna listen." Like, I'm passionate about finance and getting your budget in line and maximizing credit card points and making good decisions about money. That my other friend doesn't wanna hear about it either. They were like, "Thank God you found YouTube so that you have an audience that will listen to you talk about that." That you could find people that also care about those things because my a lot of my friends do not seem to do it. Um, Stanley is a statistician who evaluated the habits of self-made people and their financial habits. I need to reread that. I have a copy of that? I think I got that from the library. I love the library. Apparently I hadn't been in such a long time though that they had to like give me a new card. It was free. Um, but yeah, I just want her to be successful, right? But maybe I'm trying to use my standards of success to measure her success. Like she's happy and she's healthy and that's the important thing, right? And she is. And she is fun to be around. She's fun to be around. And she puts up with me, and we enjoy hanging out. And maybe that at the end of the day, maybe that's what matters. And I think it is. I just want I want I don't want I don't want the people around me to struggle. So if I can help teach them how not to struggle, that is what I wanna do. And, I know I just her old car wasn't even paid off when she traded it in. Pay off your car and just drive it into the ground. When I bought my car that I now love, that I'm mad that somebody told me I didn't understand how the emergency brake worked, um, this was not my first choice on car. I didn't really have a first choice, though. I didn't really care. I think I told you guys I almost bought a BMW once because I thought, like, to get a better job and to, like, be taken more seriously, that I shouldn't my last car was a 2013 nope, a 1997 Mitsubishi Mirage that I drove for, like, 13 to 17 years. 13 years? 1997 all the way up to 2013. I drove that thing from 97 until 2013 when I bought the car that I have now. But that car was not nice. My current car, it works perfectly, but it's not like people aren't gonna like ooh and ah at it as it's driving down the street. But you know what? I don't want a car that draws attention to me. I love my house. Um, and my neighborhood's been fine. I've lived here since I was 24, so that's now 24 years that I've lived in the same like I moved half a block from the apartment I moved in from 24 to like 34. I lived in an apartment, and from 34 to 48, aka now, I've lived in this house. Um, literally half a block away. Stop acting rich. Yeah, and I think especially with cars, I heard a podcast. It was probably like Dave Ramsey or like Rush Limbaugh or somebody. I don't know who I was listening to in the car on the drive home. And it said basically buy a car and drive it till the wheels fall off. And that if you do that, you can retire up to 5 years, not 5 months, not 5 weeks, 5 years earlier than other people. And I've unlike my mom, because my mom's never wanted to travel. I would love to travel. I would love to see the world. And as I get older, I'm realizing that I would like to do that sooner rather than later, as like my knees and my hips and my back and everything hurt. Um, I'm like, maybe I should get on that now. Maybe I should not travel once every other year. Maybe I should actually try and use my 2 weeks vacation and go somewhere new every 6 months. And I say that I wanna do that, but I'm probably not actually going to. I'm probably still gonna wind up traveling about once every other year. 1, because that's what's in my budget, and 2, like, that's about I don't know. I don't know how people can go on 2 trips a year, like, with all this planning and the cost and just, like, time away from work. Like, that seems stressful to me. So, about once every other year, I'll take a nice trip to somewhere new. Um, but I forgot. Oh, anyway, like, I wanna retire early. I don't wanna work until it like, I'm already in pain sometimes at work, standing, pop a bag of popcorn seed, you guys, is heavy, and sometimes you've got, like, somebody who cannot lift it, so that's who has to be able to lift it? The manager on duty, and who's the manager on duty? It's me. Um, even heavier than the um, even heavier than the seed is they call them bibs, bag in a box, bibs of soda bibs, super heavy. Diet Coke, not as heavy. I think it's the sugar literally causes difference in the weight, and it's a 5-gallon bib, but a 5-gallon bib of Dr. Pepper does not weigh the same amount as a 5-gallon bib of Diet Coke. Um, but you're lifting, oh, and then you have to, like, get down low to, like, change those things. It's not easy even at 48. So, sometimes I'm like, "Am I gonna make it to retirement age?" If I could retire 5 years early just because I drove my car into the ground, I would love to do it. That is more important to me. I don't care. I don't really care what my car looks like. Not really. I care that it gets me safely from point A to point B. And I think I've also shared this story for me personally. I went in to buy a Toyota Corolla because that was the cheapest Toyota at the time. I just wanted whatever was cheapest because budget was a concern. Even I had just bought the house and then my car went out and I was super stressed. I was not looking to add a car payment, and because my last car was a 97 that I drove till 2013, I hadn't made car payments in forever, and now I had a house payment. So I was like, let me just add the smallest car payment possible because I wanted the wiggle room. I was so scared something might happen to my house. Nothing's easy anymore. Welcome to old age, but I'm 48. That's not supposed to be old age. That is not supposed to be old age. So I think I just need to, like, exercise and walk more. Um, but yeah, no, it's not. And it's not gonna get any easier. So if I can retire 5 years earlier by not replacing the car, then that's the path for me. And when I bought my car, I was looking for a Corolla. I literally, though, they only had the sport model, which was not in my budget, but I needed a car that day. My old car was not working. I tried to just abandon it there, and they were like, "No, lady, you have to get this off the lot." But, like, it was a whole production. So, they had a white Corolla Sport that was about $21,000, and they had this black Prius C that I actually liked, and, it was about the same, and then I was like, "Ah, but without the gas, without having to put in a like, the Prius C won't need gas as often, so it'll really be about the same." I called the insurance company for I said, "You know what? I don't know which one I want." I said, "Let me call the insurance company from inside of the dealership." And I asked them, I said, "How much to" sport models are always more expensive to insure. So I said, "How much to insure this Toyota Corolla Sport versus how much to insure the Toyota Prius C?" And I kid you not, it was a $10 difference cheaper for the Prius C. And I said, "Okay, that's the one I'll take." Like, I was just like, I'm factoring it all in and I'm getting out the door with the cheapest one possible. That was my goal. And I could use some more friends that are definitely budget conscious at least, because a lot of my friends are not. They just don't care about that. I love them dearly. It's not their jam, and that's okay because I have you guys. Richard says, "I've owned many cars over the years, and I never used the emergency brake. It was never necessary for me to use it." I'm gonna screenshot this and send it to my friend because that's what I tried to tell my friend. Because we don't live on a hill, right? Like, that's for people that live in, like, San Francisco. I think you only have to use it if you're parked on a hill, but I don't know why, but I pull mine every time. Okay. Cindy says, "People move to my state from the coastal state due to cheaper living. You sell your house and move to an affordable state and have house plus additional money. A lot of people have moved here." I have family in Indiana as well. Did I mention that? I feel like I forgot to mention that. I have a cousin, Michelle, who lives there. So that's actually, oh my God, have I never shared this before? That's actually where my grandma grew up. And I have like my grandma's brothers. I think there might be still, no, that can't be. I think they've all passed away now, but my cousin Michelle still lives there. Um, One of my grandma's kids is like an Elvis impersonator. They live in like Anderson, Indiana, in that area. I actually don't know where my cousin Michelle lives. I'll try and find pictures for you guys next time because even though I go by Shelly, my legal name's Michelle. So yeah, they all lived in Indiana. So that's somewhere where I would consider going back. to. And I have like done the math. Maybe we'll do that next time. If I remember, I feel like somebody asked me to talk about something this week and I don't remember. We didn't end up talking about it. I know that much. But um, sometimes I do the math on like how much could I sell this house for now? Could I buy a replacement house somewhere like Indiana where I have family or Georgia where I have family? Because the cost of living is less there. Although the property taxes in Georgia scare me a little bit. They can go up. They go up based on the value of the house, not like in California, our home, what is it called? Our real estate tax only goes up a maximum of 2% a year. So no matter what my house is worth, it only goes up as long as I don't sell, it only goes up 2% a year. But in Georgia, they like go and I bought my house for like 128,000 and now it's worth over 500,000. If I were in Georgia, they would assess the tax on the new value of the home and that could really jump up. So that scares me a little bit for Georgia. I'm not sure how Indiana works. But Georgia and Indiana are both 2 states that I would consider moving to just because I have extended family there. Um, but yeah, I could sell this house for let's say 500,000. I could buy a new house in a or condo or something, in a lower cost of living state. Let's say I spend 300,000. That would get me something nice, nicer probably than what I live in. I love my house, but it would get me something nicer in Georgia or Indiana. From there, I could put the extra 200,000, I could invest it in like an index fund or something like that, and I could just like take some out and like live off of that. So sometimes what movies are coming out? Debbie, I don't know. Let's look real quick. We'll Google that real quick and then why am I drawing a blank? Oh, Downton Abbey. I don't feel like that's your jam, but Downton Abbey is going to be a big one. We're getting something called Megadoc, it's a documentary about the making of the movie Megalopolis. I rolled my eyes because I'm not excited about that one, guys, but my coworker is, so whatever. Okay. Hang on one second. What is the commission for real estate agents now? I think it's still 6%. And I think that the selling agent gets 3% and the buyer's agent gets 3%. And sometimes there's always like specials. So yeah, you wouldn't quite get all of that. So I imagine your point. What? And my mom and I, Debbie, if you want to, somebody told me that I like spooky movies, not scary movies. What movies open in October and November? Let's put 2025. Somebody told me that I like spooky movies, not scary movies. Yeah. So Richard, I think it's 3% for the buying agent and 3% for the selling agent. So I wouldn't quite get the full 500,000 for sure. Okay. Major movie releases for October and November 2025 include Tron Ares. I don't know if I'm going to see that. Or Ares? I'm not sure how you even say it. Predator, Badlands, and Wicked for Good in November, with Zootopia 2 and Knives Out, Wake Up Dead Man arriving late in the month. Other films, such as Stitchhead, After the Hunt, Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Didn't we already have that? And Zizou 2 also have confirmed November releases, while a full list of October releases from Movie Insider includes things like Bone Lake and Killing Faith. All right. I think, what is this? We got to see this. Is this a remake? Now You See Me, Now You Don't. A Diamond Heist reunites retired horseman illusionist with new performers. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. All right. So we've got a new one in the franchise. For Now You See Me, Now You Don't. All right. That seems like a good place to end this stream, guys. Don't buy new cars. Don't be wallet poor and car rich. Maybe that's a new house poor. Don't do it. Okay. Anyway, Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next Saturday. Thank you for watching Shelly's Millions. Sunday, not Saturday, at 11 a.m. Sunday.